Greetings, everyone. We're Trace Scorch, and this will be the third episode in the 36912 series. If you haven't seen the previous one, you should. There will be no review. And quickly, before the end of this year, I wanted to share a few tips that will that will assist everyone, the collective, in this transformation season that we're entering. A brief review. 36912 energy, frequency, vibration, rejuvenation. If we're going to translate that in human engagement, it will be you as an energy. 6 is the frequency, which is how you feel. 9 is the action, your accomplishment, and 12 would be reproduction, when you and another person come together to create another being. That's another 3. The cycle of life continues. Now, but there are certain things that will be coming afoot in this new season with the evolution of consciousness. Currently, there's a new state of consciousness that's arriving in the collective. Many people are not aware of it, but some of you are. And to those of you who are, there are certain disciplines that will be required in order to be of a frequency match, or in order to align with these new energies. And it has to do with belief system. Yes. Thing is, there are a lot of limiting belief system that keeps humans, a society, spiraling in a down spiral, because a lot of people do not believe they are worthy. They have this low self-esteem because of whatever childhood trauma or their religious belief system. And of course, because there are those who believe they're born of sin, and there are those who believe that by their time, their cycle of life, they will be sent to a pit of fire. All these ideas keeps people or humans away from connecting to their higher source. There are 3 stages or 3 levels of brain that you have. You have the reptilian brain, you have the mammalian brain, and you have the divine brain. We've shared this before. A lot of humans are still stuck in their reptilian brain, in the fight or flight mode, in a survival mode, because they have ends to meet, which is understandable. And when you graduate from that level and you're into your mammalian brain, that is when you're compassionate. That is when you're empathic towards others. You are no more in that fight or flight zone or in survival mode anymore. You are able to actually live, sort of like striving. And when you graduate from the mammalian brain, you get to the divine brain, which is on a whole nother level of frequency. It doesn't correspond with the 3D version of reality anymore. When you're operating from your divine brain, you're in a omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. You're in a golden state of being. That's when you're operating from your 24th pair of chromosome. This is what you can hack into, how your prophets and the gurus were able to tap into a higher frequency where many people think they are gods, because they are. And this is where you are able to heal others. You're able to manipulate energies and do things that many will consider sci-fi, because you're operating from a different realm of frequency, perhaps. Because when you're in your reptilian brain, you're just looking how to make ends meet. You're just trying to get it through to the next day. Your brain cannot compute any higher objective anymore. It's kind of like you're struggling, you're trying to live. As they would say, you're being chased by a lion. When you're being chased by a lion, you're not thinking about the cure for cancer, you're thinking about survival. Now, when you're in your mammalian brain, that's when you're more compassionate, you are more tuned, and you're more grounded to your purpose on life. Now, in order to get to that mammalian brain, because we'll have to take it gradually, a lot of people are still in their survival mode in the reptilian brain. You have to be more compassionate with yourself and others. You have to start seeing each and every one as an extension of yourself. In other words, what you wouldn't do to yourself, you don't do to others. And the easier way to translate this, or to practice this, will be mindful about your self-talk, how you speak to yourself. Perhaps you could practice this as we're going into a new paradigm. Be mindful of how you speak to yourself and others, because that's what's going to translate to others. If you're being harsh or negative to yourself, perhaps you make a mistake, or what you consider a mistake, and you talk down on yourself, then there's no other way. If someone else does something that is not preferential, you will not be able to respond in kindness to them, because to your own self, you do not respond in kindness. So it starts with our own personal self-talk and how we respond to our actions, how we respond to ourselves. From there, you can then project that state of mind to other people in case they do something that you do not prefer. That will be all. Then the second would be to be mindful about what you say about others, or put yourself in positions where, or situationship where you're not around people talking bad about other people. Try to remove yourself from rooms where people are not in tune with compassion or empathy. So you should catch yourself when, say, the word we use is gossiping. Try to remove yourself from those kind of circles and focus more within yourself, and take time. This will be the third thing to do. Take time to spend at least 30 minutes to just sit with your thoughts. Meditation, there are different levels of meditation. There's a part where you have to vibrate, you use the hum, and that's it kind of a bit of connection issues. But yeah, when you use the humming system, you connect to your vagus nerves and you're kind of like vibrating all your cells. It's kind of like if you understand cymatics, that's the understanding how vibrations can manipulate. We can relate that to frequency, how vibrations can manipulate energies around you. So when you hum, you're actually vibrating your cellular structure in order for them to take a particular shape or a particular frequency. So there are certain sound vibration that will be required for you to tune your cellular structure to match the higher frequencies. We'll be sharing that sometime, perhaps next year, hopefully, as long as we get about 120,000 live streams or soul streams who listen to this information. So there's this 100 monkey theory or effect that happens where after 100,000 people get on information, the rest can actually just, by quantumly, just understand it. Because that's how information passes. Sometimes once 100,000 people know something, a billion people can just know it overnight. So we're trying to get to a point where we have about approximately 120,000 live stream that gets the sound vibration, and once everybody know it, then we can be sure that the rest of the world will tap into this. So before we share that sound vibration, hopefully we'll be doing that next year, or hopefully we'll get 120,000 streams or live streams paying attention. You need to learn how to discipline yourself and how you control your own energy, because it's not just about getting the sound vibration. You need to know how to be disciplined with yourself and your spirit. Meditate, sit with your thoughts, and just listen to what comes up. If you're not good, just sit with your thoughts and listen to the thoughts that come up, because these are your own energies. Whatever comes to your mind, just pay attention to it. You don't need to act on anything. By the time you sit with your thoughts for perhaps, say, 20 minutes, and you do that over and over and over again, you will realize something. Gradually, you only start getting a certain frequency of thought coming, not at all the whole monkey mind shenanigans where you're just having a stream of unnecessary chatter in your brain. And when you get to the point where, after practicing this frequently, you get to a point where you can sit in silence and you don't have any unnecessary chatter in your mind anymore. You become clear. That's where you get the clarity from. And once in a blue moon, you just get a certain stream of download or a message that just comes into your mind, and it's an action you need to take. So you need to clear your mind from all the whole monkey mind mundane shenanigans. In order to do that, you have to sit with your thought for a period of time. But if you do not do that, you just be having series of unnecessary thoughts coming up in your brain. And that's what meditation is for, is to clear out the noise, to remove the seed from the chaff. So in order to get the positive incoming information that you need to know. And not Once you're able to do these four things, you get yourself in a frequency that you are close to your mammalian brain and no more in your reptilian brain or your fight or flight mode. And it's when you're there, you can then apply the sound vibration to open your higher crown chakra, your higher energy system, to tap into the divine brain. We're speaking about this from personal experience. None of this was read in any book, and this is something that we were shocked by the experience ourselves. But understanding what it's like, and perhaps not be understanding fully what it was, we got ourselves out of that period, that frequency, because sound is new, and at that point you cannot question what you are anymore, because that's perhaps the mistake we made. You can't question what, because at that point you are literally matching the frequency of what you call creator, God, or whatever you want to call it, the universe. But in order to get there, there's certain disciplines that will get you to that level or that graduation stage. It's quite interesting that we're having a lot of connection breaks during this time. Anyways, now that we have Google have a new quantum computer that can compute information that will take our supercomputers presently about billions of years to compute, it can do that in 5 minutes. So if you have a computer able to process information for 5 minutes that would take a supercomputer billions of years, then you know there will be a whole lot of development along with distractions. So now there'll be a whole lot of distractions which will be keeping people away from meditating. We advise that you take 30 minutes or 1 hour to read a book, perhaps audiobook. These are practices that we do frequently. So we're trying to get people to tune into a certain level of mind or operation in order to tap into this higher frequency, because it's practical. You can't just say the sound vibration. It's not like Shazam and then you just turn into this omnipotent being. There are certain disciplines that's required in order to tap into that level of comprehension, perhaps that state of frequency. Like we said, 36912. In order to zoom your move from this level of fight or flight mode to your mammalian brain, to your divine brain, there are certain disciplines that are required. And it's more importantly that you start feeling that you're worthy of this state of being. A lot of people feel like they are not worthy. You have trauma, you have negative self-talk, and you have limiting belief system. Some people think that they are not worthy of anything. It's interesting. Some people have some childhood trauma because of what happened in the past. They're still judging themselves and pushing themselves away from anything magnificent because they feel they don't deserve it. And these are certain things that people need to start working on. You need to believe that you deserve these things. You need to believe that you're worthy of these things. Otherwise, you'll be the one keeping yourself from it, because it's always a belief system that keeps people away from God. And there are those who think they believe in God with a certain different belief system that make them take out negative action. If you know, you know what we're talking about. So once you have a dysfunctional belief system, it's going to block you away from anything of high vibration. So you need to investigate your belief system. That's primary. Your belief system. Take time to speak positively to yourself, positive affirmation. Meditate, take 30 minutes in silence every day with yourself and just listen to your thoughts, and read a book, expand your knowledge about the world around you, and be kind to yourself and others. You do these 5 things, we'll share the sound vibration, and hopefully we'll see you when we get there. I love you all, and see you next year perhaps. Namaste.